Hello there. All right. So yeah, I decided to start correcting your work, and I'm going to follow the suggestions that you put in your email for Ellen. So let's see. Environmental experts have suggested that. Let's just jump in the questions. These days, pollution, particularly in large cities. What are the reasons for this, and how can this be solved? Obviously, body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2. Environmental experts have suggested that in modern days, nowadays is probably the more natural way of saying it. Experts have suggested that nowadays pollution-related issues and concerns are rising exponentially. Beautiful, especially in large towns. Okay, so we could have said cities here, because large towns is not the same as large cities. Okay. So just be careful, some repetition. Actually, I would have just put in sort of like in major urban centres or in major cities. The reasons behind this could be an increase in the population in cities, as well as the increase in the number of vehicles owned by the public. Okay. In order to resolve this alarming issue, government should develop some strategies. Remember, in the course, we've got something like this essay will look at both these issues using examples from Harvard and Canada to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Okay? It's just easy, straightforward, grammatically perfect. The population of cities is rising exponentially, comma. This has resulted in the demand of more houses. Okay. More houses or more accommodation? Just saying, because a lot of cities have apartment blocks, you know. Anyway, the demand of more houses. Okay, construction of houses and apartments requires space, and that is often obtained by clearing forests and deforestation, which leads to global warming. For example, in 2020, the deforestation rate in America increased by 10,000 per annum, increased by 10,000 square meters, 10,000 square miles, okay? Or trees per annum. That subsequently resulted in the rise of temperature in the United States by 6 degrees Celsius. Okay, additionally, people own more private vehicles as compared to the past times. Okay, as compared to the past, comma, these pollute air to a great extent. Okay, to illustrate, a recent study by Harvard University proved that the level of various gases such as carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and chlorofluorocarbons, beautiful, rocketed by 30% in the atmosphere of the United Kingdom due to the fact that due to the rise of cars and motorbikes. Full stop. Okay? That's all we had to do, due to the rise of cars and motorbikes. The rest, I'm sorry if it sounds a bit rude, the rest was kind of like fluff. And we've already got a long sentence, so we really wanted to be ending it sooner rather than later. Okay? It's a great example though. Now, what I'm going to say is that this is on topic, because we're talking about we're talking about cities, we're talking about pollution. This is just way off topic, okay? It's way too broad here. Okay, it's got nothing, it doesn't have that much to do with pollution becoming worse in large cities. We're saying the temperature's increased in large cities, but we're kind of muddying the waters. It's becoming unclear when we're talking about deforestation to make way for the cities. We're not talking about that. We're talking about pollution getting worse in large cities, which is what we've talked about here. So that's on topic. This is slightly off topic. Okay? However, government could impose... Okay, let's just see. Therefore, population in large towns has increased due to the rise in the number of people living there and the number of vehicles owned by them. Therefore, pollution in large towns has increased due to the rise in number of people living there and the number of vehicles owned by them. Okay, super. That's not a bad conclusion at all. Okay, so well done there. Moving on. However, government can impose certain rules and regulations that might decrease the pollution level in huge cities. Beautiful. Banning the use of vehicles operated by fossil fuels like petrol, diesel and gas, and encouraging the general population to travel through battery-operated electric cars and bikes, which would reduce the level of poisonous gases in the atmosphere. Good. Excellent, excellent. If, for instance, the Canadian government had not banned the usage of cars that run on petrol in downtown Toronto, no capital D needed, in the year 2019, the percentage of pollutants in Ontario would not have decreased by 20%. Thus, a single initiative taken by the government can accumulate the extent of the growing level of can reduce the extent of the growing level of pollutants in metropolitan cities. Beautiful. Excellent. Much more straightforward, much more on topic. Excellent. So in this one, we just needed an additional idea like you did here, that would have been on topic, and then we'd have the perfect paragraph. Here we've got ideal length, but only half of it is really on topic. Okay, so just try and keep that in mind. In conclusion, although shifting of people in large cities, shifting of people doesn't work. I don't know what you want to say this. I can't give you replacements. Okay, so in conclusion, although there is a transition of people to large cities, as well as the increase in the number of vehicles, resulting in an increase in the pollution, an increase in the level of pollution. Okay, government, full stop. Oh no, because we've got although. Government, on the other hand, has the authority to ban the usage of automobiles that run on fossil fuels. Beautiful. Okay, so another takeaway is long sentences. Try to avoid these long sentences, because the longer the sentence, the higher the chances of a grammatical mistake are, and obviously we don't want that. Okay? Now for your task one, it seems like you were struggling with ideas, but it does seem a good length. I will include an essay that I corrected today, which I thought was pretty good. With regards to the selection of information, grammatically, it was okay, but the selection of information was spot on. So I'll send you that in a second. The paragraph illustrates the sales of cars belonging to 3 different brands, namely Ford, Audi and BMW, in 9 European countries in the year 2018. Beautiful. Sales of BMW the sales of BMW was equal in France, Germany and Hungary, accounting for the sales of approximately 120,000 cars. No space here. Followed by Ireland, Italy and the UK at 110, 80 and 80,000. So consistency here. Okay, so 110, 80 and 80,000. Okay, so look, we started off like this, and we should keep that structure, or better, this structure, for the rest of the sentence, okay? So it might even sound a bit clunky, but we'll just put in those 3 zeros for each of them all the way through, okay? The number of BMWs sold in Ireland was 100 times more as compared to those sold in Belgium. Beautiful. Brilliant observation. Audi sales, okay, so we need Saxon genitive if we write it like that, or the sales of Audis, the most Audis were sold in Hungary, Germany and France, okay, whereas the least number of cars or Audi, or whereas the least number of Audis were sold in the UK and Italy, okay? In Holland, sales of Ford was approximately 150,000, which was 15 times more in comparison to that of Italy. Beautiful. Sales of Ford in Ireland was just 300,000 to that of Poland. I don't know what that means. Was 300,000 more than of Poland? So we can't write like that. Okay, we need to replace that. The UK sold 10,000 less Ford cars in contrast to the sales of BMW. No. Okay. The UK, no, in the UK, Ford sold 10,000 less cars than BMW, full stop. That's how we would have to write that sentence, okay? Overall, that's fine. The sales of all the cars were at, not peak is for line graphs, okay? This is a bar graph and it's not dynamic, so we don't need peak. Overall, the sales of the cars, the highest number of sales, the highest number of car sales were in Hungary. However, people of Belgium were least interested in purchasing BMW and Audi as compared to other countries. Fine, that's great. I would focus more on your language rather than the selection of information at the moment. The language is priority here, and reviewing this work, we definitely need to work on the language more. So I wouldn't worry that much about the selection of information, but you are on the right track. So you know the deal now. What I want you to do is implement all the corrections that you've heard, make a list of the mistakes, review the mistakes, research the mistakes online, okay? Then write 2 new essays, check them for the mistakes you made previously, and then send those 2 essays along with your corrected work and along with your error list, all in one email. Send it back to me and I'll review the work and get it back to you as soon as possible.